Hi, welcome back. What up? Okay, today we are going to do some percents. Now, Mustangs, I've taught it a certain way. I'm going to try and show you a bunch of different ways to do percents. One of the specific ones I generally kind of go fall back to is called percent proportions. Okay, so let's just get started. Let's say we had something like 45% of 24. Okay? Multiple ways you could do this. Percents are always out of 100. Okay? Percents are always out of 100. So if we have 45%, we're saying 45 out of 100. If the weatherman says there's a 45% chance of rain tomorrow, that means if tomorrow were 100 days, 45 of them, it would rain. If you got a 45% on a test, that means if there were 100 questions, you would have gotten 45. Okay? So 45% of 24. 45%, because percents are out of 100, of 24. So out of 24. How much is 45% out of 24? Okay? Now, for those that have forgotten how to solve a proportion, it's called cross product, okay? And I've already kind of gone into why it works. I'm not going to do that right now. This is just kind of a quick video about how to do it. We're going to look a diagonal from each other. 45 times 24. Okay, you'll see that we're going to do diagonals, and you see when you do the diagonals, you see a big time sign. Okay, so you're going to do 45 times 24 equals 1,080, and 100 times x is 100x. And we're going to solve for x. What's in the way? The 100. How do I get rid of that 100? Divide by 100. We're going to take this and divide by 100. 1080 divided by 100 is going to be 10.8. So 45% of 24 is 10.8 or 10.80 or $10.80. Okay. Another way to do 45% of 20 would be to make this a decimal. Since our decimal system is a base 10 system, we move the decimal twice because 10 times 10 is 100. So if we move it twice, we're moving 2 decimal places. So you would do 0.45 times 24. That also gets 1080. A third way you could do this is you could do 10% like mental math. 10% of 24 is 2.4. We have 4 of those because it's 40%. That would be what? 9.6 plus another 5%. 5% is half of 10%, so half of that would be 1.2. And guess what? There's your 10.8. Now, I generally go to this because that is generally the easiest thing for a 7th, 8th grader to do. This is probably what you're going to use most at the store. Okay? So if we had something like you had a 30% off coupon of a $70 shoes, okay? 30% off would be 30% of $70. There's your proportion. You could do 0.30 times 70. Again, these proportions will figure out how much is off. So if you want to know how much you pay, you could get these answers. Again, 30 times 70 across from each other is 2,100. 100 times x is 100x. And then we would divide by 100. 21 bucks is how much is off. If you do this on a calculator, 21 bucks is how much is off. If I want to know how much I pay for the shoes, then I would take 70 and I would take the savings away. I would pay $49. Same idea here. You could also do the 10%. 10% of 70 is 7. We need 3 of those, so that would be 3 times 7 is 21. Let's do another one of these proportions just to show. I want you to try this one, so if you need to hit pause and then try it on a scratch piece of paper, that would be awesome. Let's do 27% of 32. Okay, pause, try and do it yourself. I will show you a couple ways again how to do it. Pause. Now unpause. Hopefully you just did it. 27%, percents are out of 100, so this percent is over 100. What it's out of 32. Mackie, is that number always going to go on the bottom? Most likely, yes. Yet there are problems where it will go on the top, but for our sake, we're going down here because it's out of it. And it's like a fraction, it's out of it. When we solve our proportion, 27 times 32, I don't know what that is. 27 times 32. 864. 100 times x, 100x. Mackie, do you always divide by 100 here at the end? Uh-huh. 864 divided by 100 is 8.64. That's what 27% of 32 is. It's 8 and a little bit. Okay? You could also make this a decimal. 0.27 times 32, you'd get this answer. Questions? You use percents all the time. Again, what do I use most at the store? This. However, you need to be very, very careful using this, because if it's something like 5% of 32, kids will incorrectly write 0.5 times 32. No. 5% is actually 0.05. 0.05. Because this is the hundredths place and percents are out of 100. So if you wrote 0.5, that's actually 50 out of 100. And this is 5 out of 100, so it would be 0.05. Mackie, what if there's like a decimal, like 7.5% of 32? That would be 0.075 times 32. But again, what do kids generally rely on? Take that and put it over 100. X out of 32. Solve by cross multiplying and solving for X. Hope that helps. You'll have a little Google assignment on this. Sorry, this is not supposed to be creepy. I'm just coming closer so that I can turn the video off. I'm turning it off.